welcome back to the Cowboys Fan Show. Zach and I, alongside Tyler Ortega, Scott Jeter, and Kimberly Temple. Tyler, take it away.
Well, the Cowboys have a big one coming up this week, trying to stop the 6-game skid that we're on. We're facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's see what they bring to the table here in this week's scouting report. So the Bucs come in with a 3-5 overall record, 2-1 in the NFC South. As you can see, Carolina there atop the division, a perfect 8-0. Atlanta sort of keeping pace, 6-3. The Saints under 500, one of those wins against the Cowboys. And the Buccaneers there in the cellar of the NFC South. Now, when you look at these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one thing they bring to the table is Jameis Winston. And this guy is versatile, ladies and gentlemen. He can stand around, he can pick you apart in the pocket, or he can go and take flight just like that.
Or he can steal crab legs from your store.
That's neither here nor there, but yes, I suppose he can also do that.
Guy's quick on his feet.
And just this last week, actually, the Buccaneers and the New York Football Giants played. And boy, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't necessarily pretty for the Bucs. Same thing as it was for the Cowboys just a couple of weeks ago as well. The Giants went out to Tampa Bay, beat the Bucs 32-18.
Is that just a correlation of Tampa Bay not doing as well as people anticipated with Jameis Winston and the Giants turning it on here late in the season like they seem to do when they go on Super Bowl runs?
Well, no, not necessarily. I think it's just part of the maturation process of Jameis Winston. He's only, 8 games into his NFL career, so he still has a lot more to grow, and I think he will. We've already seen substantial growth from him just this season.
Yeah, I completely and totally agree. And that's good and bad. I mean, it's good for Jameis, it's bad for us because he's consistently getting better every week. That being said, I still think that we're going to be able to keep pace with the point scoring. He's not their biggest weapon. He's not at all. That running game is what's got me scared, man. I mean, Doug Martin, the muscle hamster. Sorry, I know he hates that. Charles Sims.
I don't think he watches.
Probably the best third down back in the league in my honest opinion, man. That guy could be a starter anywhere. Catches the ball out of the backfield, and as thin as we are at linebacker right now, John Lee's going to be out next week, according to the reports. With Rolando McClain playing the way that he is, we're going to have a lot of trouble stopping the run. I think you got to pull up. J.J. Wilcox. I mean, he reminds me a lot of number 31. We've talked about this before. Yep. Roy Williams. He's not really a cover guy, man. He's a run-stopping safety. He can get in that box. He can hit a guy. We're going to need that help. We're going to have another big game from Brandon Carr, Mo Claiborne on the outside. I think that if we match up with these guys, and I think that we can on the end, I think that we can actually hopefully keep Jameis in the pocket. And if we can stop this running game, we've got a chance.
Well, I'll tell you what I think right here in my keys to the game.
Smooth.
So we got 3 here for you this week. My first one, of course, the Dallas Cowboys defense needs to show up and they need to make stops. Yeah. We touched on it just a while ago. We've lost to New Orleans in overtime, Philadelphia in overtime, right. Seattle was a 1-possession game, New York was a 1-possession game. The Dallas Cowboys defense has been Swiss cheese in clutch situations. It just holes everywhere, and it's been awful. Mm-hmm. It's been awful.
I mean, would you have to agree with that? I mean, is it the defense that's really preventing Dallas from winning these games?
I completely and totally agree. Absolutely, 100%. We touched on that earlier. There are just blown coverages. There are just missed opportunities. I mean, come on, losing contain on the edge there, letting a guy run for 20. That's rookie mistakes right there. However, I do think that we have the personnel to match up with this specific team. They played well last week. I mean, what was the score? He said it was 32-18.
32-18.
Now, I mean, it wasn't that big. Wasn't there a defensive touchdown scored towards the end of that game? So it was a lot closer than you think. I do believe that you can pass on this team. I think that Matt Castle is getting much more comfortable. I think that a lot of the mistakes that we made last week, I mean, I'm just rooting for you guys. I mean, Terrence Williams doesn't have a couple of drops. Bees is going to show up. Dez is, again, going to spread the field. McFadden is going to go over 100 yards again, man. Mm-hmm. Offense, we're going to get it done. We've got to finish defensively. We've got to get those stops.
Would you have to agree with that? Defensively, the Cowboys, if they can get the stops, can they beat Tampa Bay?
I absolutely agree. And like I touched on earlier, I mean, Tyler and I have talked about it. The defense is full of holes. He uses the word Swiss cheese. And I think if they could step up and do their jobs the right way, or at least half the time, they have a way better shot at this.
Well, it's not only just making stops for the defense. We were just talking about it now in commercial break. The Dallas Cowboys defense needs to force turnovers.
Absolutely.
They have 3 interceptions this year, which is bottom of the league, and they have 1 forced fumble and 1 fumble recovery. also bottom of the league. So the Cowboys defense needs to force turnovers. They need to get pressure on Winston and make him throw those bad balls. And the Cowboys, the secondary needs to catch the ball. So, and my last thing here, Scott, you said it, the Cowboys need to pound the ball with McFadden. The last 3 games, he's averaged 111 yards. Coming in, Tampa Bay gives up 108 yards on the ground. And for the first time in McFadden's career, he's been over 20 yards per carry in his last 3 games, averaging about 25 yards per carry. Or, 25 carries per game.
And we have
averaging
to give
25 carries per game.
Credit. Last time he was here, what did you say?
I said hands down by the end of the season, Darren McFadden was going to be the one and only starter for this team. We were not going to be doing running back by committee. And bam. It's happened, folks. Absolutely.
It's about time.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Absolutely. Another thing that I want to touch on is, hey, the Bucs, they're still without Vincent Jackson, right?
Yeah.
So I truly believe that we can pull those safeties up, and I feel like we can match up one-on-one with the receivers that they do have. Brandon Carr's been playing super physical as of late. Claiborne's been killing it. If we can keep Mike Evans in check, that's going to leave Jameis with a lot of, untested targets for him. The guys that he's not as comfortable with.
Who's
yet.
going to throw
We
to
can force him into those turnovers.
Jenkins?
One thing, stop that run. Help these linebackers, man. Pull those safeties up. J.J. Wilcox, you're killing me this year, man. I'm sorry, but he's not covering anybody.
No.
He's getting faked out of his boots, but he can stop runs. And if we play the right defensive scheme that I know that we can do, we're going to stop these guys straight up.
Absolutely.
Without Vincent Jackson.
That will do it for T.O.'s scouting report and keys to the game. It's time to hand out some game balls and predictions for Tampa Bay. You're watching the Cowboys Fan Show. Don't go anywhere.